So I just got the first version of the first movement of the concerto that Brian Balmages is writing for the Falcone competition, the 30th? 85. Should have figured this out. Yeah, 30th anniversary. That's LaDuke. Hi, I'm Lance LaDuke. You're about to watch an interview that I did with Brian Balmages. He has written a Euphonium piece called Crossroads that I'm going to be premiering in about a month at the Falcone competition. And so I sat down and talked with Brian for about 20 minutes or so about the writing process and this piece in particular. And in a future episode, I'll show you the second half of the interview, as well as some footage of me practicing trying to wrangle this piece. It's a very cool piece. There's a bebop section and a funk cadenza. It's two movements. He'll unpack that. We'll see you soon. Boom! Isn't that pretty? And here we go with, where's the printer? I'm trying to do this through the, there we go. He's a smart one. And Printen Sie, that's German. And soon it will spit out. We're going to talk to Brian here in a little bit. We're making this up as we go, as with most things that I do.
Right.
So, but process, how did you get the call? How did you pick how did you get at what you got at to get me what you got me, which is this wonderment right here. That.
Gotcha.
See what
Hey, it looks really nice printed out. I've never seen it on actual paper.
That's it. It's like, it's weighty as well. It's, what, 10 pages? That's
it's
like
10 pages of euphonium madness.
It's a good part of a tree. We're making this up as we go, as with most things that I do.
Right.
So, but process, how did you get the call? How did you pick how did you get at what you got at to get me what you got me, which is this wonderment right here. That.
Gotcha.
See what
hey, it looks really nice printed out. I've never seen it on actual paper.
That's it. It's like, it's weighty as well. It's, what, 10 pages? That's
it's
like
10 pages of euphonium madness.
It's a good part of a tree.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you put everything at 400%.
Well, everybody's pretty excited. This is, you obviously got a, do you normally get this sort of response from new pieces?
Well, it just depends. I think in this particular case, there's not a huge repertoire available, especially for euphonium players that want to be able to play with a wind band, or to have the option of playing piano accompaniment, whatever it might be. And so I think people are pretty excited about new music. I mean, there's some band music that I've written that has gotten really big responses, and some string stuff that I've done that have gotten responses. Hey, Colin, you want to say hello? No, he's just busy doing his own thing.
Whatever.
So he glows in the dark if you turn the lights off that shirt. Anyway, so I think, though, it's always when you get to a situation where there's something that there's not a huge amount of rep for, and people certainly know me from my band music, and I think having the two together is kind of an interesting thing for a lot of people.
Sure. Well, I think, well, you hit it. I mean, I think people like you. I think they like your music, and so they're excited that you are writing a euphonium piece. There's a lot of times, oh, there's another euphonium piece. Isn't that nice? But that's
exactly,
and I think is a cool thing. How long would you say the process was from first idea to that?
To that, yeah, months from first idea. So the way this whole thing came about, obviously I got a call from Phil Cinder at Michigan State, and he was the one that said that they wanted to do the commission, and this was probably a year and a half ago or so. And at that time, we didn't even know that it was going to be you. We were hoping to get somebody else, but everybody else was booked with gigs.
Fell through. What are you going to do?
So, I mean, but we're happy to have you as well. It's going to be just great. Yeah.
I built a career out of that. That's fine. We couldn't get that guy. You know what? That other guy's always free. Let's get him.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he couldn't do it, we're like, let's call Lance.
Now we'll try Lance.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but yeah, so he contacted me, and then I actually began thinking about the idea. He kept asking me for a title, and I kept saying, I don't know. At first, I thought it was going to be like a fantasy variation, and I think I even told you that.
Yeah,
it's going to be some kind of theme and fantasy variations, almost like a theme on like a theme of Paganini, Rachmaninoff, or something.
Sure.
I was thinking of the Marcel Biche, being a trumpet player. I was thinking, all right, the quattro themes, and there's Domenico Darlotti, or sometimes also known as Domenico Scarlatti, depending on how you like
their work.
Think of them. But they both work really well. And so then I just started writing, and that wasn't going anywhere. And so then I started with this theme, which is the first three notes that the solo plays, that da da dee. And I thought, oh, it was a really cool idea there. And so I actually started with the piano reduction first. I was so overwhelmed by the whole orchestration that I walked away from that, and I just said, you know what? Let me just deal with the composition side of it first. Start writing, and then as I'm writing, then when I start going to the band thing, then it becomes more orchestration and less writing. And it allows the orchestration to be a lot more colorful because you're not worried about the composition aspect of it. That's already written. You can really work on the color.
Sure.
And so I would say the first 3 minutes or so I did that way. And then, believe it or not, the piano accompaniment started to get away from me, and I couldn't really see where that was going. And then I also became concerned that I was becoming limited by what I was hearing in the piano accompaniment. And I know I have played pieces that were written by composers who were pianists, and then they transcribed something for band, and it was very awkward. And it just, the way, the left hand and the right hand, when you're one person, it all makes sense and it's great. But when you're doing it separately, it just very awkward. And there's a couple pieces that I've had to conduct where the musicians really had a tough time with a soloist. And so
I've seen you conduct.
Yeah, well, they usually have a hard time with me conducting anyway. But then when you add the additional issue with music, then it just becomes a complete train wreck.
Sure.
Just not a partial train wreck. So, but anyway, so then I walked away from that and I started orchestrating what I had. And I would say that I orchestrated the first 2 or 3 minutes, which is what I had written. And then from there on out, I was able to write the rest of the movement. I sketched it on a score first. So big ideas. I know the bass clarinet's going to play this. I know the trombone's going to play this. And then I knew what the euphonium was going to do. And so I kind of did the shell, the skeleton, and then I filled it in with all the other things, the cartilage and the muscles and all those other things that apparently people need to be like, I don't know, people. So, worked on all of those things as well. So that's how that happened. And then the second movement, just to get ahead of myself here a minute, I actually sketched the main idea from that on the plane home from Hawaii. That really hit me. And so I wrote the first, 40 measures on a plane. It was a piano reduction that I wrote because I was on a plane and you don't really have a big screen to see much of anything. So piano works really well in that situation. But I wrote about the first 40 measures or so on the plane to Hawaii, which immediately indicates to me that I need to go to Hawaii more often.
Of course.
Of course, as just for professional development reasons, of course.
Of course. I like the surfing picture, man.
That's exactly. And I was writing while I was surfing. You just can't see it. I wasn't. Okay, yeah, anyway. So that's kind of how the whole process of the piece came along. Obviously, you saw several versions of it. There were things that I wanted to make sure that you felt, I'm trying to meet two things here. I wanted to write something that was pretty much whatever I wanted to write, but I also didn't want to, knowing that this was eventually, their goal was to have this as a competition piece, sure. I wanted to make sure that I didn't underwrite what those people were going to be playing, nor did I want to really overwrite what those people were playing. So trying to find that place in the middle where it was a great thing to chew on for them, but not to a point where, only, 10, 12 people in the world could actually play the thing. And I think we found that spot without me having to water anything down. I didn't change anything that I heard.
Seems organically the right level. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's all of a sudden, oh, crap, there's not enough difficult stuff. It's not
exactly
duct tape to the end of it.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's exactly the process there.
All right. Have a spectacular day. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Absolutely. I'll catch you soon.
Later, Tater.
Bye.
That's the As you can see, I forgot to pull the tray out. It's making a spectacular sound every time a page spits out and hits the, oh, there's the last page, tuba. Please subscribe to my channel. I know that I'm not pretty, smart or even witty, but please just watch my video.